I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and with Drew Forster, we're going to go through the Sunday, September the 29th races at Hastings. First race at 150, we do have 8 races on tap, including the feature, the BC Premiers. $100,000 on the line, mile and 3/8. Going to be a great race. It goes in early in the card, third race, and just was only able to assemble a field of 5, but they're 5 quality horses.
Yes, very good. Looking forward to seeing, I think, a duel.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a good race. We'll get to that shortly. Back in race number 1, we'll get to the action. $25,000 older horses, got a field of 5 signed on, going a mile and a 16th. The 2-horse Don't Hold Me Back has to be, obviously the horse to beat in here. Going to be tough to get past him. He does pick up a couple pounds after winning that race, so he's packing 124, but where do you go to beat him? It's really difficult to find someone. I put the 4-horse Not Yet, who's interesting, but he has no speed. He continues to break poorly, so he's going to maybe be out of position. And in this race, you can't afford to be out of position against Don't Hold Me Back. If he breaks well, he's going to be really dangerous. And that'll be the whole key to whether Not Yet wins or loses. And I put the 5-horse Metal Magic, who will have position. He breaks well, but he just has to harness that good speed. And he actually ran really well first time out going long. He might even be better going second time out going long. He only lost by a length and just a little over a length to Don't Hold Me Back. So why not? A little, 2 extra pounds. It's not the craziest thing to see that horse win. I went 2, 4, and 5.
I got the same horses. I agree. Don't Hold Me Back, though, looked very good winning last time. I put Metal Magic in the second spot. This is, it's a horse that's very good right now. And he's going to be the one they have to run down. And I agree. Not Yet. A little off form right now, but in for 25, he has to be respected.
Yeah, he's been in some tough races.
Yeah, he's coming out of tougher races. 2-5-4 for me in the first. On to the second. $4,000 Claim It event. 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of the year, non-4. Yada, 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 regular condition, field of 6. I got to take Burnham, my old buddy. Won for 62.50. Didn't run great last time in the slop. For 62.50, that little dip down to 4 should help him. I like Burnham on top of Ace Deuce, who did win. He needed the race last time. It was the horses that haven't ran 1, 2, 3 at the meet. So it was. I would like to see him win by a little bit further, but he did have another quality horse in there, Kelson, that he did defeat by a nose. And as I say, he did need the race. So I have him in second and Act Up. Another one coming out of that Adichie, that 62.50, same race as Burner. I put him in for third. I went 1-6-2.
Yeah, I just flip-flopped him. I think Ace Deuce, he kind of got on a roll last year. When he wins a race, he usually strings a couple together, so I'll try him. It's not a particularly tough race. I think he can get a good trip sitting off the speedy harness back. I think he'll get into a good spot sitting second. He had a bunch of trouble last time. He had to wait room, or he would have probably beat Kelson a little easier. But Ace Deuce for me over Burnham. I agree. Burnham's alive in here. He's always cool. Alive when he's in for 4. Not in for 4 very often, but he was first time out this year and he won. And I put the 5-horse harness back just because of his speed.
Yeah.
There is no speed. The 4 got no speed. 3, 2, 1, nothing. There's no speed anywhere. 5 gets the lead. I think 6 gets second. I think the 6 wins it. The 1 comes out, gets second, and the 5 hangs on for third. 6-1-5.
Just that easy.
Just that easy. Yeah, 6-1-5 in the second. On to the third race. This is the Grade 3 $100,000 BC Premier. It's going to go 11 furlongs in here for a nice big. Yeah, that nice big $100,000 prize. I like the 2 Explode. He was very unfortunate not to win the Derby against a very stubborn 5-star General.
Yeah.
It was just the bob of a nose that day. He did win, of course, the Canadian Derby at a 1 1/4. The mile and 3/8 won't be a problem for him. I like the fact that he's showing far more speed, and he's going to be in play early.
Yes.
He's not going to let He's the Reason get away from him. He's the Reason is going to blast off to the lead, and he's a nice horse. He's the Reason, but he's got 124 pounds. And now we're talking 5 more pounds, an extra 1/4 mile from the 1 1/8 that he just conquered. And Explode, who's, I don't know, he's a nice horse. I think can beat He's the Reason. So I'm going to go 2-4, and I put the 3-horse Final Jeopardy. Rico Walcott in town to ride for Peter Redekop and James Redekop and Phil Hall. I'm sure this one will be a little closer to the pace as well. For some reason, he hasn't been showing the speed that he showed in his races at Belmont and Gulfstream. He's been way back, and he had no chance on the BC Derby when they had those dreadfully slow fractions when he was way back. So, and he could only rally to get third. So, but he's got to break. And the riders can't get horses to break. They either break or they don't break. And the rider change isn't going to get the horse out of the gate. There's a reason sometimes they're not weak and behind, but they're just not breaking. They're not launching
He's
themselves
standing
out
there
of the
for a minute,
gate.
yeah.
And that's been the case in his 2 starts, Final Jeopardy, since we've seen him come to Canada. But hopefully he'll be better because he's a nice quality colt, too.
Yes, he is.
I went 2, 4, and 3. I left out Calgary Caper, who, of course, won the BC Premiers last year. He's a 2-time BC Premiers winner, and I just think the pace is going to hurt him. And that's my problem with him. And Brave Nation's a nice horse. He's always in the mix.
He got beat a neck last year in this race by Calgary Caper. He just missed
Brave
by a
Nation's
neck
nice
last year.
too.
Yeah, he's cool.
This is a good quality
It is a
field
good
of
field.
5. But I Explode, I think, gets the trip. I went 2, 4, and 3.
I couldn't decide. I really like Explode, and he's the reason. And I'm looking forward to the battle. I think
It's going to be fun. That's one of them fun
I think it's a
races to
battle
watch.
between those two.
It'll be a real tactical race.
I did land on He's the Reason, being a 4-year-old, but I mean, I don't see much that separates them. I'm going to have both of them on my early pick 4 ticket, or the kick off my pick 5 ticket. But I went with He's the Reason with Explode, and I threw in Calgary Caper. He is going to be pace compromised. That is the one worry, as you mentioned. 4-2-1 for me. In the Premiers, on to the 4th. $4,000 claimant event for fillies and mares, going 6.5, field of 6. 3, 4, 5. I had it narrowed down to, and I did land on the 4 Yellow Bonnet. She's coming out of a 4 non-3, as is Camus Reserve. Amorcito jumped out of the non-3 and just won over Our Revel Lady. But I've always liked Yellow Bonnet. Phil Hall making all the right moves as he has all year, and Enrique Gonzalez. I'm going to take Yellow Bonnet over Amorcito. I put Camus Reserve in for 3rd. All 3 of them are coming off wins, and I will have all 3 of them on my ticket. I like all 3, and I couldn't really decide between the 3. I went 4, 3, 5.
Yeah, I agree. I got the same horses. I just think tactically, Amorcito gets the good trip sitting off of future games.
Yeah.
Amorcito had the 8-hole last time, ran 3 wide around the first turn, and then just did run down future games, and then held well against our next out winner, Our Rebel Lady. So I thought Amorcito was the horse. Camus Reserve gets a little far back, but he can win too, or she can win as well. And the same as Yellow Bonnet, they just both get a little too far back. They're not too far. I mean, I should say they get a little too far back.
They're getting
for this
themselves out of
particular
it,
race, they might be a little out of position. That's all. 3, 5, and 4, but I agree. All 3 of them are very alive in here. 5th race, non-2 $4,000 claimer, going 6.5 furlongs. The 1-horse Vintage Man dropped down to the non-3 level last time, kind of overstepped the condition, and just ran into some pretty good horses. Bill Smoke and Bullet was an unlucky one to run into, as well as Red Hot Rio. Those are way better horses than a lot of these, and he gets into the non-2 where he fits perfectly. That was his first race since May. He's come back with good works. Vintage Man has the rail, has speed. Why not?
Could be tough.
Going to be a short price, unfortunately, but that's my pick. I put the 6-horse Handsome Chef. Going to add blinkers. Ran terribly last time going along when he was the 4 to 5 favorite. Showed no interest, but he is coming back with the blinkers, and perhaps that will, because there is speed in the race, so there will be some stopping in here, and maybe see if he can catch them all or catch some of them and get in the try. And I put the 8-horse Gate Shot, who looked good defeating $8,000 maidens. They're going to not mess around. Going to drop him right for the non-2-4. But he did outgame my Grand Valentine last time, which is an impressive effort. But he did do it on the lead. He seems like a need-the-lead type, and Antonio Reyes will be trying to get out there. I want 1, 6, and 8, but I did like Vintage Man.
I like Vintage Man too. I got him on top. As you mentioned, that 4 non-3 last time. Now he gets into a 4 non-2. That's a better spot for him.
Yeah, way better.
I don't mind Move On either. I put Move On, the other Glenn Todd horse that's coming from the outside. He comes out of an 8 non-3, only got beat 3 lengths with Master Ewan, KK Gold. Those are tougher horses, right? You drop him from 25 with Dave Flyer into a 8 non-3, only gets beat 3. Now a little bit further down into a 4 non-2. I think it's a good spot for him. I have him in 2nd, and I agree. I put Gate Shot in for 3rd. This is a horse that looked good. Got a 55 bar that day, breaking his maiden for 8.
Figuring that out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
He was very green.
Take him a few starts. Kitten's Joy on the mud too last time, but I went 1, 9, and 8 in the 5th. On to the 6th. Fillies and Mares, 4 non-2 for 4,000, going 6.5. Field of 9. And I went to the 4 Backseat Rider, just missed behind a well-met Stevie Song last time, one of the Mark Luce runners. It was figured to win one of these days. And she closed well under Antonio Reyes. He's back aboard. I like Backseat Rider. Gifted Gray, I didn't mind last time in that 8 non-3.
Better than Looked Race he ran last time.
Yeah, the time before that, she ran 3rd behind We Are Free and Snappy Ginger. I liked her last time in an 8 non-3. Didn't really show up. well, as you mentioned, a better than it looked race. Now into a 4 non-2. This is a better spot for her. Hamel aboard. Gifted Grey for me in second, and I threw in the 8. Proud Woman for Dino, looking for a rider. Jim's tracking out this horse, went to Dino, first start, maiden 4, went to the lead, never looked back, went over next out winner, Her Every Wish. Logical next spot for her, 4 non-2. She's in good hands with Dino. 4, 5, 8 for me.
Yeah, I went with the 5-horse Gifted Grey. I think it gets the spot just in behind the leaders. I think there will be some speed in here, and I think Gifted Grey gets into a nice spot on the class drop. That's a big class drop, going from 8 non-3 to a
4 non-2. Yeah,
4 non-2. And her races have been good enough. Any of those races that she's sprinted prior are good enough to win in here, I think. I put the 4-horse Backseat Rider, who's knocking at the door. She's had a few chances at this level, but she was a good second to Stevie Song last time. And the 6-horse Hilariously Naughty made the big class drop. Didn't get much of a trip at all. Was kind of rated. I think she'll be sent a little harder this time. But did track the speed and didn't like doing that. And she's better than that. I put the 5 on top though. I went 5, 4, and 6 in race number 6. On the 7th race is an allowance. What a big bulky
bunch
field
of
we got
them
here. We got 12. We got 12 of them in here. Going a mile and a 16th. First half of your late double. But the one noticeable horse in here that does stick out on form is the 4-horse All Good. Dropping out of the BC Derby. Still has this nice little non-2 condition in his hip pocket. And did get a small check. Ran 5th behind 5-Star General. Explode and his stablemate Final Jeopardy. He's come back with a good work in a minute, 1/5. And Amadeo Perez will ride. So there's a lot of interest, I think, will be in the 4-horse All Good. But the 12-horse Speculator was really live in here as well. He's dropping out of a $25,000 claimer, and that is a drop. Open company against Don't Hold Me Back and Metal Magic. Prior to that, he just had a tough trip behind R.W. Stanley and All Noble at the same condition because there was a loose horse that day. Slews the Boss had dropped the rider out of the gate.
Right, yeah.
Dropped Alex Marti and ran around loose, and it really affected the race and affected this horse. But I thought if he can overcome the 12-hole. And I put the 6-horse Fright Night, who's sitting on a win as well. He's been already won at this condition once, and he's almost knocked it off last time. He just missed Finally Gotcha and El Noble, but he should get a better pace setup than he did last time.
Yeah.
He's got good speed. He's got a lot better speed. He's been in good position, but he should be one tucked just in behind the leaders. I thought the horses were 4, 12, and 6.
I got the same horses. I agree with All Good. There's a few coming out of the Stay Fantastic, Whiskey Bound. They're all coming out of the
Derby.
The BC Derby. But All Good was, ran the best of those horses in the Derby.
Right.
There's a horse that broke his mane at Santa Anita, ran second in an optional 40. There's obviously some talent there. He's come back to work good the other day in 1:01 over a sloppy track. Amadeo aboard, Phil Hall. All good for me. I put Fright Night in for second.
Yeah.
It started going long. That's what he needed, right? His first start here was going 6.5. Then he goes long for main 16, wins. Come back in a non-2 allowance, wins. Last time, that was the day that Richard Hamill got hurt in the gate and did not ride. Jose Gomez rode, but now Richard Hamill back aboard, knows this horse well. I like Fright Night in the second spot, and I agree Speculator in the third spot, coming out of those tough 25s. He'll like his new friends in here. 4, 6, and 12 for me in the 7th. On to the 8th and final. Who did I pick in here? I didn't. 1, 5, 7. I went to the 1 Optic out of the back in the Steve Bryant barn, and last time good second behind Adichie in a 62.50. Adichie was well meant. Everybody liked Adichie that day, and he looked good winning. And without Adichie in here, he should be tough. I put Absolutely Stylish. This is kind of the wild card in here. This is a horse that's.
What do you do with this horse?
Man, 1 for 25 here back in June. Has been then ran the BC Cup Classic, ran last. Ran for 12.5, runs 4th beaten 12, goes down to Blaine in Seattle, doesn't really show up in an optional 15 there going a mile. Now he's in for 62.50. I don't know. I mean,
get eligible for the marathon, the final marathon maybe. But
if he, exactly. He's just, I don't know. I mean, I can see him winning by 5. I can see him running last. I just don't know what to do with him, but I'm going to have him in there because with these connections, I don't want to leave him off my ticket. I put him in for second. And Always Sunny, only beat a couple lengths, but time the odds are good. Great Blake last time. He's got to be tough in here. Another one that won for 62.50, took a little drop up to 8, only gets beat a couple lengths back in for 62.50. He should be tough too. I'm going with Optic. I think, whenever he's in these lower level, he's back in his old barn, and he's one that can jump up and win by a bunch. I got 1, 5, and 7.
Yeah, I got the same 3 horses, but I see the race a little different. I see a lot of speed in the race. I see Optic getting a lot of pressure from Bill Smokin' Bullet, Kaki's Command, another Guinness. I see Always Sunny getting a perfect setup in here. And especially if there's moisture in the track, Always Sunny's like a lot better horse when it is sloppy and wet. Although the horse did get really far back last time. I don't know why the horse was that far back, but he was way too far back to defeat the Odds Are Good in those horses. But the Odds Are Good did have the lead by himself that day. So, and he was off a month. Maybe come back in 2 weeks is better for Always Sunny. But like Always Sunny over the 5, absolutely stylish, and the 1 Optic went 7, 5, and 1 to close out the Sunday card here at Hastings and the final day of the racing week. That'll do it for our analysis. Next up on screen will be a quick recap. Here we go. Back in race 1, I did go to the 2 horse. Don't Hold Me Back. Probably the heavy chalk. 2, 4, 5. Race number 2, under the 6, Ace Deuce over the 1. Burnham and the 5, Harnet's Back. Race number 3, the BC Premiers. I like the 2 horse Explode. Going to go 2, 4, 3. Race number 4, I went to the 3, Amorcito. Going to go 3, 5, 4. Race number 5, went to the 1, Vintage Man. Going to go 1, 6, and 8. He's got a big chance, Vintage Man. 6th race, a little tougher here, but I did go to the 5, Gifted Gray over the 4, Backseat Rider, and the 6, Hilariously Naughty. And 7th race, went to the 4 horse, All Good. But I do think you need a few in here. 4, 12, and 6 would definitely cover some ground. And in the 8th and final, I really like the 7 horse, Always Sunny. I'm going to go 7, 5, and 1.
On to my selections back in the first, I went to the 2, Don't Hold Me Back, like Mike did, with the 5 and the 4. The second race, I went to my old friend Burnham, number 1 over the 6 and the 2. In the third, the Premiers, I went to the opposite way, Mike. I went to the 4, He's the Reason, over the 2, Explode, who I do like and hear a lot as well, and the 1, Calgary Caper. In the 4th, I went to the 4, Yellow Bonnet, over the 3 and the 5. In the 5th, I like the 1, Vintage Man, over the 9 and the 8. In the 6th, I like the 4, Backseat Rider, over the 5 and the 8. In the 7th, I agree with Mike, number 4, All Good, in a wide open race. This is a good race. Over the 6 and the 12. And in the nightcap, I went down to the rail, the 1, Optic, over the 5 and the 7.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to Handicapper's Corner. Just a quick reminder that our next live cards will be next Saturday, October the 5th, and Sunday, October the 6th. I think it's 5th and 6th. Yeah. But yes, we're on the Saturday, Sunday schedule, and then the following week will be Sunday, Monday. Well, we do have Thanksgiving. But yes. Our next live cards will be next Saturday and Sunday, both days at 1:50. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. Good luck in your wagers on the weekend. Should be a great weekend with the Ballerina and the Premier. Should be a lot of fun. Enjoy your day at Hastings, and look forward to seeing you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do